Hello, welcome back. Let's just keep rolling here in Chapter 8. Um, the fourth section in Chapter 8, they do some mass conversions, and this really applies in the medical field. And there's actually a fairly significant presence of medical opportunities at Johnson County Community College. So I think it's appropriate to throw in some examples of that. And truth be told, we're not going to do anything different on this than we've done in the previous ones. Number one, I think what I'm going to do here is, for the sake of time, I'll work the first one out here for you, and then maybe I'll show you the answers. I imagine you'll have a question on number 3 because of that fraction, so I'll do that one as well. But here's what we do. The same thing we've been doing. We have 8 tons. This is not metric to metric, so we have to do the same thing we've done, which is take your starting value, put it over 1, multiply it times a matching value there, or matching label, ton. Look for tons to pounds, which we have here. We have LB means pounds. We have 2,000 pounds. It's equal to 1 ton. That cancels out, and you got your tons. 8 times 2,000, 16,000. If you do the same thing for the pounds, I'll go ahead and show you this. I think I can do it fast. 6,000 pounds over 1 times. Match your unit right here. You have pounds to tons, so we're basically going to use the same thing from above. 2,000 pounds is 1 ton. It's got to go on the bottom there because that's where the pounds are. You have basically 6,000 tons divided by 2,000. Divide that out, you get 3. Number 3, if you did it to 1/4, don't be afraid of that. Just put it over 1 with the labels. Pounds goes here. Ounces, do we have pounds to ounces? We do. We have 1 pound is 16 ounces. All right, so that cancels out. Basically, you have 1/4 times 16. Easy math, you got 4 right there. If you do the same thing to number 4, you write it out. That one actually ends up working out to be 1/10. Write it out and see. And if you have questions on it, bring it to me. We'll check it out. But let's move on to the next application, because this is where you can start to see that the value of the trick that I've shown you, because what they've done here is they've given you a new conversion you may not be familiar with, and it's at the top of your screen, and it's on your paper as well. 1 milligram is equal to 1,000 micrograms. This is actually a medical measure, and number 1 is a good example of this type of problem where we might use this. Nitroglycerin sublingual tablets come in 4/10 milligram tablets. How many micrograms are in each tablet? So they've given you basically that. So basically what they're doing is they're asking you to convert these 4 milligrams into micrograms, because that might be a unit of measure that's often used in the medical field. So we're going to do the same thing we've been doing. We're going to put it over 1. And we're going to match up the labels. Okay, milligram went here because it matches that label there. All right, and I multiply across, it's 4,000. Those labels canceled out. I took 4/10 times 1,000. That's micrograms. There it is, 400 micrograms. Let's see if it works for number 2. A physician prescribes 500 micrograms of this medicine and anti-anxiety medication. I don't know, maybe you need it for your math class. I hope not, but I understand if you do. Hopefully not. How many milligrams would that be? So they're asking you to go 500 micrograms is equal to some milligrams, and you're going to use, again, just like the previous question, you're going to use the conversion up here at the top. 1 milligram is equal to 1,000 micrograms. Okay. Let's do the same thing we've been doing. Put it over 1. Match your unit. Micrograms goes here so that I can cancel it out. And I know that 1,000 is equal to 1. So you end up with 500 over 1,000. You divide that out and you'd have 5/10 right there. But do you see how the method that we learned earlier, we just took and applied it to this problem that we probably were not familiar with that typical unit. So there you go. That's some of the beauty of it. All right, let's keep going. We've got a couple more medical applications here, and then we'll be close to being done in Chapter 8 is probably going to take one more video because we still have to get to time and temperature, and that's just fine. Let's try to get through the medical stuff, though, before we wrap it up. Physician orders 3.5 liters of 5% dextrose in water, abbreviated .D5W, to be administered over a 24-hour period. How many milligrams were ordered? Okay, there's a whole bunch of stuff in this problem that we don't need. So one thing that I would suggest you do is observe the things you don't need. Okay, well, do you need to know 3.5 liters? Probably, because they're basically asking you how many milliliters were ordered, and they told you that. So that's important for us. So we want to keep that. But this right here, that means nothing to us about this problem. It's important to somebody. That's not either. That's just the name of that medicine. And then the fact that it's administered over 24 hours has nothing to do with what it's asking us to do for the problem. So we're just going to focus on this. It's saying, I have 3.5 liters. Would you please tell me how many milliliters that is? Okay, that's basically what the question is asking you to do. Well, if you go back to what we learned how to do that trick, because this, guess what? This is metric to metric. Liters is metric, milliliters is metric as well. So guess what? We can do that easy trick. It's 3.5 liters. Liters is right here. They want us to move it to milliliters. 1, 2, 3. So basically you're going to multiply this times 3. 1, 2, 3. So you have 2 zeros. It's 3,500. It's that easy, metric to metric, which we love, because all you have to do is move the dot. There. But that's the answer to that particular question. So if you're feeling confused or thinking it's a lot, it begins by considering what's the conversion asking for. Is it metric to metric, American to metric, American to American, or which one is it? And then go from there. Okay, let's do this last problem here, and then we'll do another video for the last group. Hopefully we can finish it up in one more. Liquids at a pharmacy are often labeled in liters or milliliters. Thus, if a physician's prescription is given in ounces, it must be converted. For conversion, a pharmacist knows that 1 ounce equals 29.57 milliliters. Okay, that's probably important because there's your conversion rate. They tell you right there, an ounce is that. A prescription calls for 3 ounces of whatever that is. How many milliliters is that? Okay, so they're asking you to turn 3 ounces into milliliters using that conversion rate. So guess what we have to do? We have to put that number over 1 and match up its label, ounces and ounces. Okay, they cancel out right there. Here's your milliliters. So you got 3 times that number right there. Multiply that out and you get 88.71 right there. So that will wrap it up for us. Come right back and we will talk about time and temperature, and then we will hopefully be done. We'll get it in one more video, I think.